Welcome back. For this video, we're going to be looking at this graph paper division page, which is focusing on two-digit dividends. So we'll have two-digit quotients. So this is a two-digit dividend and a one-digit divisor. All right, and all of these problems are set up that way. Two-digit dividends, one-digit divisors. Okay, let's start by looking at A. And I'm going to make my little notation on the side of the steps that I want to remember. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw? That's my reminder for the steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, remainder. All right, so we're going to remember those as we go through these problems. So let's look at this first one. 39 divided by 3. Remember, when we read these long division equations, we read them from inside the box divided by outside the box. We do not read them from left to right like some problems. So we're not going to say 3 divided by 39, because that's not what this says. This says 39 divided by 3. All right, so we're going to start with this one. In order to begin, I ask myself the divide step, and I ask how many times can 3 go into 3? And that's pretty nice because it's exact. 3 can go into 3 exactly one time. All right, so that's our divide step done. Now we need to multiply. What does 1 times 3 equal? 1 times 3 equals 3. Great, we did our multiply step. Now we're ready for our subtract. So we're going to set that up. 3 minus 3, that's right here, 3 minus 3 equals 0. All right, that works. So now we check. Is 0 less than my divisor of 3? Yes, it is. My check works. It needs to be smaller, and it is. So now I can bring down. I look next and see what's left that I can bring down. In this case, it's the 9. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring down that 9 right there. And now I'm ready. Because I brought something down, I'm not ready for the remainder step. I'm going to go back up to divide. All right, so back to divide. We're saying how many times can 3 go into 9? If you know your multiplication facts, this becomes much easier. I know that 3 times 3 equals 9, so 3 goes into 9 3 times. So I'm going to write that in up top. I'm going to say 3 times. All right, divide step is done. Now I'm ready to multiply. 3 times 3 equals 9. So I write it underneath this other 9. And now I'm ready to do my subtract step. So I'm going to say 9 minus 9, and that will give me a difference of 0. So now 9 minus 9 equals 0. We did our subtract. Let's check. Is this 0 less than this 3? Yes, it is. So we pass the check. Let's look at bringing down. Do I have anything left that I can bring down? No. There's nothing here to bring down, so now I'm ready to move on to remainder. This 0 is the remainder. If there was a different number here, like a 1 or a 2, then that would be the remainder. But because it's a 0, I don't need to write that there's a remainder of 0. I'm not going to write R0 because 0 isn't adding or taking anything away from it. We just ignore it. So now we can say there's no remainder. We are done with this first problem. 39 divided by 3 is equal to 13. Now let's check to prove that. We'll say 39 divided by 3 equals 13. We proved that we did it right. All right, let's try a couple more of those, and then I'll have you go off and do some on your own. Let's try B. This one says 87 divided by 2. All right, so the first thing we do is, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw? Okay, here we go. How many times can 2 go into 8? 2 can go into 8 4 times because 2 times 4 is 8. So here we go. 2 goes into 8 4 times. That was my divide step. And I do my multiply step. 4 times 2 equals 8. And now I'm ready for my subtract step. 8 minus 8 equals 0. Check, is 0 less than 2? Yes, it is. So we pass the check. Bring down. Do I have something I can bring down? Yes, I do. I can bring down the 7 like that. And so now I'm asking how many times we did our bring down step. So we're going to go back up to divide. How many times can 2 go into 7? 2, if I count by 2s, I'd get 2, 4, 6. 8 is too big, so I can't go in that many times. So I can go in 1, 2, 3 times to the 7. So 2 can go into 7 3 times. We're going to put our 3 up top, and that was the divide step. So now we're going to multiply. 3 times 2 equals 6. So let's get a new color here. 3 times 2 equals 6. I put it underneath the 7 that I brought down. That was our multiply, so now we're ready to subtract. 7 minus 6, which equals 1. And then we'll do our check. Is 1 less than 2? Yes. Do I have anything I can bring down? No. Since I don't have anything to bring down, this 1 is the remainder. So we're going to take that 1 and we're going to move it up here to the top, and we're going to say R for remainder 1. All right, now this is interesting. Check this out. Ready? We said 87 divided by 2 equals 43 with a remainder of 1. Okay? Now, if I bring over a calculator and try this using a calculator, check what happens. 87 divided by 2 equals 43 and 5/10, or 43.5. Not 43 remainder 1. So the remainder 1 is really saying 1 part of 2. And 1 part of 2, 1/2 of 2, right? Or 1/2, I should say, is 0.5. So half of 2 is 1, and half equals this 0.5 we got on the calculator. The point is, when you do long division and get a remainder, that's going to be slightly different than when you do it on a calculator and get a decimal. It's 2 ways of showing the same information. But when you're looking at a test, and you might get an answer choice of 43 remainder 1, but if you solved it using a calculator, you got 43.5, now you got to be able to tell that they're the same thing. So just know that and be careful that when you're doing long division, your answer will look a little bit different than when you use a calculator for some problems. All right, so there we've now gone through 2 of these long division problems. I'm going to do one more a little bit more quickly so you can follow along while I do one more, and then I want you to practice this skill on the rest of the problems yourself. All right, so follow along with me while I try this one. I'll go a little bit quicker. How many times can 5 go into 9? I know that 5 can go into 9 one time, because 2 times 5 is 10, so that's too big. All right, so one time. 1 times 5 equals 5. Next, I subtract 9 minus 5 equals 4. All right, check, is 4 less than 5? Yes, it is. I'm ready to keep going. I have a 2 I can bring down, so let's do that. Bring down my 2, and now I'm asking how many times can 5 go into 42? 5 can go into 42 8 times. I know that because 8 times 5 is 40, and 9 times 5 is 45. 45 is too big because I can't go bigger than 42. So I'll go to the next smallest one, which was 5 times 8. So here we go. 5 goes into 42 8 times. 8 times 5 equals 40. Subtract 42 minus 40. 2 minus 0 is 2. 4 minus 4 is nothing. So 42 minus 40 is 2. Now let's check. Is 2 less than 5? Yes, it is. Do I have anything I can bring down? No, I do not. So that means 2 is my remainder. Okay, so we're going to put the 2 up top. Remainder 2. So 18 remainder 2 is the answer to this one. All right, so you should have followed along with these, and now you should be able to reference those in order to know the steps for each of these. So go ahead and try these 6 long division equations on your own using the same steps we had above. Remember, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers raw, to help guide you through the steps. If you're not sure of one, give it a big old question mark and let your teacher know. We'll take a look at it together at school. Hope this video helped. Thanks for watching.